Radio Raheem in Las Vegas with Eddie Hearn. That's a change, right? You've come to my home. Welcome. You've seen quite the fight that I think is going to be talked about for some time. It was fantastically entertaining, but did the decision come down correctly?
I believe so, but I've not seen a fight where there is so much mixed opinion at ringside. You know, I sat next to Badu Jack and Ashley Theophane. They had Kovalev by 2 rounds. I had Ward by 1, maybe 2 rounds. I think Dan Raphael and those guys had Kovalev by 3 or 4 rounds. Right. Paulie Malignaggi and Matt Macklin had Andre Ward by a round. You know, it seems that some people had Kovalev wider than I haven't seen anyone that had Ward by more than 2, and most had it by 1. So I think a round either way, a draw, you know. But I said before the fight that I hope that Kovalev is desperate to win the fight. And he didn't look desperate to win the fight in the last 6 rounds. I think Kathy said that he hurt his hand in the last 6, and that would make sense, because after hurting him like that and looking like he was the complete boss, to go and close the show would have been really impressive. But you have to give Andre Ward massive props and cred, because he was the one that frustrated Kovalev, and he was the one that turned the fight around.
Were you surprised in the beginning of the fight that it seemed the strategy they came out with was to come at Kovalev, like go into his power, and then when Ward obviously turned the fight around to some degree on everybody's card, they changed strategies to what we thought we would see? I mean, is that how you saw the fight?
Yeah, Andre Ward, in the last 6 rounds of the fight, Andre Ward did all the things that I thought he would do for 12 rounds of the fight, which was frustrate Kovalev, outbox him at times, outskill him at times, hold him up on the inside, nick rounds, you know, and that's what he did. The rounds that Kovalev won were much wider and much clearer than the rounds that Ward won, but that's totally irrelevant. You know, you score round by round, so.
Right.
But I thought that Ward would frustrate him, and Paulie was saying about the mental aspect and the psychology aspect. Kovalev just looked like he was sort of in there thinking, you know. And when you start doing that against, you know, I remember when Froch boxed Andre Ward, it was the same thing. You know, you get up close, here we go, I'm going to go for it now. Oh, look, and then after a while, it's like, I just can't do anything. But that's the skill of Andre Ward.
Turning your attention to the fight that I'll be at in Manchester, England, we've got Anthony Joshua defending his title again against Eric Molina this time. People were hoping to see Klitschko. You know, we had our hopes up. But this fight, explain to us why this matchup is still a challenge, why this is a fight to see.
It's a challenge because Molina is a good heavyweight. He's very hungry, can punch hard. You saw him have a great fight with Deontay Wilder, hurt him a couple of times badly in the fight, come back with a win, then went to Poland, beat 2-weight world champion Thomas Adamek in his backyard, knocked him out. He's 8 in the IBF, he's 8 in the WBC, and he's hungry. And he's dangerous. He's not afraid to let his hands go. So I think for the 18th fight, I think this is a solid test. You know, it was okay for Deontay Wilder. So why isn't in his 35th fight? It should be okay for Anthony Joshua. And you know, when you look at 16th fight Charles Martin, 17th fight Brazil, 18th fight Molina, 19th fight Klitschko, which will happen in April, providing we win on the 10th. It's a good, solid progress for Anthony Joshua. And you know, the problem is he's world champion. Otherwise, we'd be bringing him over here for a 10-rounder, learning. But you know, he's learning on the job's probably the wrong expression, but you know, part of him is having to learn in these defenses.
You've had such a smooth ride with Joshua so far. You've had the opponent set up, everything, even the title shot, you had it working smoothly. But this, you know, the fight was one day, then it was a different day, then it was one opponent, there was a different opponent. Do you think that at all will affect Joshua? Or is that a challenge for him to get up for a different date and a different opponent last minute?
Yeah, I think in terms of will it affect him, we'll only know that on the night. But it's definitely a challenge, and it's definitely something he's never experienced before. I mean, you know, he'd phone, any news yet? Look, it's 90% Wladimir Klitschko. Okay, great. Let's get some sparring, Marius Wack, you know, these guys. Then, look, it doesn't look like it's happening, so it could be David Price, could be Eric Molina, could be Bryant Jennings. And it just took a little bit of time, but now he's very focused. He's excited about the fight. We've got a huge card as well. We've got White against Chisora. We've got the return of Scott Quigg. We've got Luis Ortiz. We've got Katie Taylor. We've got Burton against Buglioni. We've got Cal Yafai for a world title. We've got Callum Smith on the card. It's a massive night of boxing. Sold 20,000 tickets. And, you know, all this Klitschko talk is irrelevant unless he beats Molina. So that's the pressure. That's the big pressure around this fight.
Commend you for a stacked card. When I saw it, I was like, this is brilliant. December 10th in the Manchester Arena. I'll be there.
Cheers,
Thank
mate.
you again
See
for
you
the
soon.
time. Radio Raheem with Eddie Hearn.